with Coach Terry Steiner at the USA Wrestling headquarters, getting ready for the Women's World Cup, going to occur in Japan next week. You've had a lot of the top girls in the country, including the World Cup team members, here training this week. How's that been going, and what kind of things were you trying to work on with the team this week?
I think we've had a great week. Like you said, most all of the World Cup team has been here. We've really been just focusing on the teams in front of us, on the way to that World Cup title. And we've spent, a day on each team and really tried to break down, some of the things their tendencies and some of the things that they do, just to make sure we're aware of what they're doing, and we still have to get out there and do our job, but we want to make sure that we're ready and programmed going in, knowing what their tendencies are, and not going blind, and so I think we've had a great week of preparation, and I think we have a pretty strong team, and so we're excited about it.
Yeah, and you've got Russia and you've got Mongolia in the pool, right? I mean, both those teams are different, but they can bring some really heavy hitters to this event, right?
Well, for sure. Russia's on a rebound. They were down for a couple of years, and they definitely have some new leadership there, Russia has expectation, right, with their wrestling programs, and they have a lot of great coaches around that country, and they have a lot of female athletes that are in there. So it doesn't surprise me that they bounced back. I know that they have things in place to be successful in the Russian Federation. So we're going to have to be ready for everyone we step on the mat with. I mean, Russia's a very, very tough team. They were second at the World Championships this year, ahead of us. And then Mongolia is always presents us problems because of their style of wrestling. It's just a little bit different style of wrestling than we're used to facing all the time, and so that's just in our pool, right? So we know the work is cut out, right? I mean, we're going to have to go in there with the right mindset and the right attitude and the right purpose, and we're going to have a lot of passion for what we're doing when we're in those bouts. So
most of your team are world, are members of our world team. So you're bringing them back for their first competition since the World Cup. How important is the World Cup to this team getting ready for the Olympic year?
Well, I hope it's important. I mean, that's the competition in front of us right now, right? And we don't get many chances to perform as a team, right? I mean, this is a very individual sport, and we don't have dual meets like college programs and high school programs. We just don't have that opportunity to be a team, and very few times we do that, so it's a different feel, it's a different excitement and a different energy when you're really there to move forward as a team, and everyone can get behind everyone, and we have a close team. I mean, I think they're a pretty close-knit group and enjoy spending time around each other, and now they actually get to fight for one another. And so I'm excited about it. I think they are too. It's a great event. In Japan, it's a very important event. We know that, and so we're excited about it.
So also starting next week is the first of the major qualifiers for the Olympic trials. I mean,
right.
We're right into the Olympic thing, right? You've got 2 weight classes so far qualified for the Olympic Games, but we also have the 6 weights for the Olympic trials to fill the field. And I mean, how much of attention as a coach, but also with the athletes that you're dealing with, is on the Olympic year? Because before you know it, it's going to be here, right?
Well, it is. There's no doubt. I mean, right now in the athlete's mind is one thing, and that's making the Olympic team. As an organization and a program and a coaching staff, right now the most important thing for us is making sure we stay healthy, number one, making sure we keep progressing forward, but it's qualifying those weight classes, right? And we still have a lot of work to do in that regard. So, this is really the end of this year, the World Cup, for the the people that have been in those top positions. This is their last thing. They don't compete again probably at the December Nationals. They're already qualified into the trial, but after this, they'll have a little bit of a downtime to really let their bodies rejuvenate and you know, start just working on the base conditioning, the base strength and power development, you know, base technique development and those kind of things. You know, but the other girls, the you know, number 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, you know, that are hopefuls for making the Olympic team, I mean, you know, they're right back at it. I mean, you know, they've had a little bit of downtime because they haven't had the World Championships, and a lot of them not the World Cup, and so, you know, their next focus right now is the December Nationals to get qualified into that Olympic trial, and so, you know, there's a couple of different tracks really, depending on where the athlete is sitting in there, but you know, it's a short year. And there's no doubt that on everyone's mind already is making that Olympic team, and it gets very tense right away, right? Because we know that we shrink from 10 weights to 6 weights, and that makes it very, very competitive immediately, right? And so you can feel it for sure already in the practice room. You can feel that, and you know, we just have to be okay with that uncomfortableness, right? And that's a lot of times how we grow anyways, is those uncomfortable times in our careers and the uncomfortable times in our lives is when we have the most growth. And really, we need to embrace that right now. We need to embrace that and continue moving forward as individuals, you know, let things develop, you know, technically, and keep working forward. You know, it's going to be an exciting year. It always is. The Olympic year is always an exciting year, and you know, there's a lot at stake. We know that, and so I think this is you know, the World Cup, coming back to the World Cup. The World Cup is a great, you know, just again another test at where are we really at as a program, right? And when we're facing teams head to head in head-to-head competition, it's going to give us a real feel for where we're really at in that head-to-head matchup. So
The one time we did win Women's World Cup, we won it in Japan, right? Many years ago. I mean, that was back with the group that went to the first Olympic Games for us,
Right.
and stuff like that. But, I mean, is this team capable of going into Japan and coming out as the champions? Obviously, that's the goal.
It's always the goal. I mean, we're capable, but nobody's going to lay down, right? I mean, Russia and Mongolia are very tough teams, right? And then on the other side of the bracket, you have Japan, China, and Ukraine, right? Those are, again, they're very tough programs and tough, that always put a formidable opponent on the mat, right? And so there's nothing easy about it, but that's not why we're in this. That's not the path these people have chosen, right? They're okay with being tested, right? And we need to embrace that right now and get excited about it and move forward with that type of energy, and we'll see where it goes. You know, we need to get over there and compete, right? If we compete hard, I feel we have the team that can compete with anyone, and so we'll see what happens next week.
Well, we'll make sure people are aware that the World Cup's going on. Obviously, this time of the year is real important in wrestling. You got your college and high school going. You also have the beginning of our Olympic trials process. But that World Cup's a big deal, and we're looking forward to seeing how our team's ready to go. So thanks,
Yeah.
Coach.
Yeah, you bet. I mean, you know, and that's just the life these athletes live right now, right? I mean, no matter what happened at the World Championships, you know, a couple months ago, you know, it's on to the next test, you know,
Yep.
and that's just how it is. When we get sick of being tested like that, then it's time to step away, right? And that's just the life they live right now, and it's on to the next accomplishment and the next test. So again, we're excited, and I'm excited about this group. I love the group of people we have in this program and this team, and we'll see what we can do.
Excellent. Thanks, Coach.